You've heard the headlines, the rumors, the stories, and now you'll hear it from me. I'm here to set the record straight and talk about what really matters. Unfiltered, unapologetic, real. It's time to get things off my chest.
This episode is sponsored by Rooms and More, the most powerful travel platform on the planet. Why pay more for travel when you don't have to? Go to roomsandmore.net, click on Try It Out, and see our prices compared to the major online booking sites. If you like what you see, use promo code OMC for a 50% discount. Off My Chest Sports Show is sponsored by Top Bet Plays. Are you ready to take your sports betting game to the next level? Look no further than Top Bet Plays on Patreon. Right now, you can get the rest of the baseball season and the full football season for over 40% off compared to the regular price of the full football season alone. That's the deal you don't want to miss. At Top Bet Plays, we bring you the best parlays, overs, and unders meticulously analyzed and designed to maximize your win. Whether you're a seasoned veteran or just starting out, our expert picks will give you the edge you need. Join our community today and gain access to exclusive betting insights, weekly picks, and detailed analysis that you won't find anywhere else. Head over to patreon.com/topbetplays and become a member now to start winning big.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the show, Off My Chest. I'm here with my very funny guest, my very funny co-host, my man Loopy the Blogger. What's up, Playboy?
What up, Vegas?
You know what I'm saying? Then we have the very distinct, living legend, Mr. Jose Canseco.
Let's get it.
What's up, baby? All right.
You know what? I've had a great weekend.
You had a great weekend?
I'm curious because this is going to be our third episode, our third
Yes.
show. And
Yeah.
our second episode kind of caught some naysayers, some kind of people who were not happy with the show and calling me a snitch about Congress and so forth. But in reality, can someone give me the definition of a snitch? Or is it in context with your background, you know, how you grew up, your financial status, who you were involved with, who your friends were, and the fact that a snitch is a truth sayer. A snitch is a person that tells the truth, says it how it is. And I think snitch, that word is being used by people who have a lot of things to hide, a lot of bones in their closet, and really want nobody to talk about it. So it just depends on what your definition of a snitch is.
So
Would you find out what it is?
So, Loopy, hold on. So, Loopy, in the hood, what do we consider? Oh, I want to know, because I'm from the West Coast, East Coast. We still,
Yeah.
But I got a partner. Shout out to British. Listen, tell me what you consider. He's on the East Coast. What a snitch is.
A snitch is if you tell on your people, man. If you tell on your friends, like if you selling drugs on the block and you get grabbed up by the cops, and the cops like, yo, you better tell me something. If not, you're gonna do 3 years. Motherfuckers start talking.
Right.
Motherfuckers start talking and they start singing. They give everybody up.
But is a snitch a liar or a truth sayer? That's where I'm confused. Does a snitch tell the truth or create lies to get himself out of a situation?
I think they're both different. Your situation,
Completely different.
The hood mentality is different. Your situation was different. So
Yeah, because there was a lot.
and there was a lot of motherfuckers snitching. If they want to be technical,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So hold on. So let's get the right definition because I'm trying to figure out what they consider. Listen, you wrote a book. You put some names in there. The question is, did you really have to tell those names? That's what the people probably. That's what I would consider from the hood. Like you didn't have to tell on everybody. They got away free. Why did you have to out them out? Why did you out those people out in the book?
Right. Couple reasons. Number one, when I wrote my book Juiced, and opening chapters, beginning of the book, I had no names. Mm-hmm. Judith Reagan and Harper Collins said you would have to put names for us to publish this book, or else people aren't going to believe it anyway. So, I mean, it's just say-so. It's just hearsay about a certain group of baseball players. But once you add in names and you add in events and time frames, then they realize, okay, we can look this up, and now we can validate if what you're saying is true or not. So I think a lot of it has to do with situation, circumstance, event, if you want your truth to be believed or not, compared to throwing a casting net out there and trying to get everybody involved.
So, because I did see an interview where Mark McGuire was like, I won't tell on my friends, I won't tell on my teammates, and he took that kind of serious. Like, yo, I won't take that. So I guess when you're saying Reagan, because listen, there's no holds barred up here. When you say Reagan, the book producer, she's basically telling you if you don't say the names, your book's not going to sell. So that means you really don't have a book.
Correct. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You know, in Major League Baseball, when you walk into the dugout, the
Yeah.
clubhouse,
Yeah.
there's a sign there that says, what you see here, what you say here stays here. So you're going to tell me that if I walk into the clubhouse and see one of my baseball players raping a 14-year-old child, I shouldn't say anything? Bullshit. Those are cowards. These are people that don't want to get involved, don't want to say anything, want to protect the wrong people, the wrong criminals, the wrong individuals, and don't have the balls to tell the truth. And I got the balls to tell the truth, no matter if you like it or not. So just because that clause says in the stadium, you're supposed to create lies, or that girl survives that rape, comes back, saw me there at the corner, look and see what the hell was happening. I didn't say anything, and then she asked me to testify on her behalf. You fucking right, I'm going to testify on her behalf. I'm going to testify to the truth because that was an injustice that was done. And usually the people who will call you a snitch, it's not that because they're doing something right or for the law or against or for anyone's benefit. They're doing something for a selfish reason and breaking the law. That's when you should really tell the truth. Snitching is not what people think, or ratting. It's called the truth. If you want to know the definition of a rat and a snitch, is real simple. A truth sayer. Or else they would call you a liar, not a rat or a snitch.
Okay. So I got one for you. So then, you know, and I don't know how you are with the police. I don't know if you're good. You know, you're one of these guys that like support the police, and I see a lot of guys do that sometimes. And I'm like, sometimes the police can be the worst kind. They have to protect the shield, right? They see shit on the job every day, injustices to people, but those people don't speak up. So, in other words, would those be guys? Should they snitch on their fellow officer when they do
Absolutely.
something?
Those are called corrupt police. And now you see it more and more each day where corrupt policemen, the last 20 or 30, 40 years, have put the law enforcement, the other police, in harm's way.
Right.
And are being sued by individuals and are being put in jail for all the corruptness, physical abuse, rape, the whole combination, stealing, fraud, the whole things that they've done, they've gotten away with because you got other police officers that don't know right from wrong. Covering up a lie, covering up when someone harms someone else, it's not snitching. It's telling the truth to change and to make society better. That's what it is. And I see it clearly. These idiots who say, oh, Canseco snitch. No, motherfuckers, I told the truth, whether you like it or not. And you know it down deep in your soul that I told the truth.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, I'm sorry. Did you have to tell the truth?
In that case, if I wanted my story to be told, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Was it worth it?
Absolutely not. It wasn't worth it. I didn't think it was going to blow up that bad or go that far, or it's going to end up in Congress.
Yeah.
Or the players were. You know what? What I thought was it was going to be real simple. Everybody's going to admit, yes, Major League Baseball had a drug problem. We're going to fix this issue. And it was the 80s and 90s, and that's it.
Like in the...
But the problem is we got everybody denying it, lying, perjuring in court, perjuring themselves against the congressional members, which they had no respect for. That's what really happened, which made the matter way worse. For example, if that girl gets raped in the clubhouse, and they asked me in a court of law, Mr. Canseco, did you see this 14-year-old getting raped by Manny? And I said, I take the fifth. I don't want to talk. That's lying, and that's awful because you're letting a very negative event grow even further.
And that's also going to haunt you, and the people are going to be mad at you too. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you tell the truth, they'll be mad at you. If you don't tell the truth with the situation with the girl, they'll be mad at you.
It also depends on your character. My character is very different than most. I am bound by the truth. People who know me, my family members, my friends will say, Jose's the most honest man you're going to meet. You're going to see me coming a mile away. I am bound by the truth, not because of peer pressure, because that's the way I'm built.
Okay.
So let me break it down. Like, because I have this thing in the hood. Like I have this discussion because I feel like society would be a lot better if people told on things. So in my old neighborhood.
Hey, edit that, Rachel.
No, I'm just saying.
You're gonna get us all shot now.
What I'm saying is, I have homeboys in my neighborhood that I pose the question of the difference between the neighborhoods in the hood and then, like, let's say in Vegas and Summerlin, is that when I live in Summerlin, if someone, even on the black guy, if my neighbor sees somebody going through my house and they know that I'm not
Community
supposed to be
watch,
there,
right.
right, they will call the police. Mm-hmm. In the hood, they will let this guy rob me.
In the hood, they're gonna pull up the phone.
And then they'll call me and go, "Yo, we know who it is." And they'll be like, "Okay, go get him."
You want to know why?
Why?
Because in the hood, your buddies are doing the same thing to everybody else that they just did to you. That's why. And those same buddies may have called their friends to rob your house. That's why there's a difference between a hood and a community and a social structure. The hood is the ghetto. Those people are there for a reason. Some of them are lying. Some of them are manipulating. Some of them extorting. And, of course, if you want to get out of the hood and convert that hood into a community, first thing you got to get rid of is those damn liars and those damn extortioners and those guys that are rip off their own neighbor. Those are the first people you got to get rid of. That's why a hood is a hood and a social structure, a proper community is a proper community.
Do you think those people in the hood want to be in the hood? Or do you think, like you said, it's a social structure? A project is nothing merely than a project.
Correct.
If I put two rats, no pun intended, guys. If I put two rats in a cage and I split that cage down the middle and I give one rat food and I don't give the other rat food, just give them a little nibble here and there, but I continuously give the other rat food, what do you think the other rat is going to do? He's either going to die. He's either going to die. Or he's coming over there to take the fucking food.
But you have a middle split. He can't get over there. He can't get over there unless you open up the door later on. And one skinny rat sees the other fat rat.
That's where the project comes into play because what happens is that the rat that's not getting fed. So in the hood, it's the banking system. If you're giving everyone of privilege money and loans and you're not giving the other people loans, eventually at some point they're going to start coming over to the other people going, you fucking got to give it to me now. It's just the way it goes. It's the way they built our society, right? So now when it comes to the snitching, I guess the point I was going to make is that if I'm driving down the street and I see Jimmy get shot in my neighborhood and I see him get shot, if it didn't have anything to me, the code is I'm supposed to go my way. Or if they're a civilian is someone who had nothing to do with it, can tell.
But that's not really a code. That's brainwashing. Yeah. Yo, the OG, you don't say nothing. You keep your mouth shut. But if you could help somebody identify somebody's killer, I think you're doing the right thing, man.
What if the cops knock on your door and ask you, did you see anything? What if the cops bring the mother of the 12-year-old kid that was killed, and the mother says, please,
man,
if you saw anything,
fear. There's so much fear.
Listen, snitch and telling the truth.
There's so much fear in the black community for that.
Well, because that's the problem, it's fear.
Those people will go and retaliate. But that's what I was saying to my point earlier about the community, is that if innocent people came and told more, those people wouldn't be allowed to do that because now you're locking them up left and right. They're like, oh, well, I ain't going to do that because they'll tell on me.
I got something for you.
Listen, what I do know is I'm never going to do anything dirty with you.
All right, but listen, every time they try to gentrify a community or a neighborhood, all the minorities get on Instagram or YouTube, they gentrify my fucking hood. Yeah, we're trying to clean it out with the filth. We want the filth and the lies gone. Right. Get the fuck out of here. We want some good people here so they can start telling when you motherfuckers is doing bad shit.
Well, I think those people in the hoods are good people. I just think they've been corrupted by the system.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's an invisible system. I used to argue with my friend Mark about the redlining of places where you live. Why is it that a house that I live in is only worth $75,000? 2 blocks over, Jose lives there. It's worth $250,000. Right? It's like, come on, man. There's a lot. There's a lot into it. Let's get back to the bigger point. And we got the rat stuff off your chest. And I don't consider you a rat. There's some things that I do think that you probably shouldn't have did, but I mean, listen, you did it. It made history. It cleaned baseball up. But did it really clean baseball up? Because there are still players getting busted for.
I think they found another loophole.
Yeah. I think who was the pair for the Padres?
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah.
He got popped. He got 80 games last year.
So did they really clean it up?
Well, here's the problem. Let's look at the demographic. Let's look at the math and the facts. Tatis lives in where? Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic.
Oh, well, he's from
Dominican
there, born and raised.
There's no law against using PEDs. You could buy it anywhere. Any pharmacy. You don't need a certificate. You don't
That
need
shit comes in the chicken in Santo Domingo.
It doesn't matter. They put exactly. You can come in anywhere. So what goes to say during the off season? You got 4 or 5 months in the off season. Tatis doesn't do PEDs for 3 months and hopes in 1 month that thing's out of his system. Boom! But they catch him with a metabolite or something in his system. It's impossible to tell. It depends on how accessible the PEDs wherever you live. Outside the United States, Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, Cuba, all those PEDs here. It's over the counter. You don't need a prescription. You need nothing. Players want to become bigger, faster, stronger, and they want that $300 million contract.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe during the offseason they actually do it. Then they taper it or get off of it completely. But sometimes it stays in your system.
How long you think it takes to come out of your system? Because marijuana is allegedly 28 days to come out of your system.
It depends on how long you've been using it, what steroid you're actually using, oil-based, water-based, injectable pill form, what kind of metabolite it has, long-lasting metabolites. It depends on a lot of things. Your own metabolism. It depends on so many things. That's why you need to get monitored all the time.
Can you tell the people on Instagram something? Because a lot of them were saying allegedly.
And YouTube.
YouTube and Instagram. A lot of them were alleging that you're still on juice.
Oh, I'm on testosterone therapy. Absolutely 100%.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, no homo,
all legal.
pause.
Listen, nowadays, anti-aging clinics, you just go there, take a blood sample, and if you're 50, 60 years old, your testosterone levels have dropped 50% since you were at peak when you were a young kid.
Yes.
Once they see that right away, they give you a prescription. You get it, inject yourself once a week, you're golden.
Okay.
That's the way it works
Okay.
today. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay on it for the rest of my life. Absolutely.
That's what.
So-
Because they were saying you.
As long as it's legal,
good. Yeah.
you can do it. Yeah.
60 years old, you look pretty good.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
as long as and I do work out every day. I swim. I actually, I do all kind of exercise. I eat properly.
Can we work out one day together?
Yeah, I'm going to show you some workout.
Pause.
Yeah,
Pause.
I got some. Don't let this. Listen. I'll tell you what. Let me tell you this. I was going to take steroids in high school. I have a brother, Jeff. Shout out to Jeff. And Jeff used to. He worked out. He never did. He wanted to, but he didn't do it. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get strong. He told me, he goes, listen, you want to go Division I? So not everyone does it for the money. I was going to do it to go Division I. I wanted to be a Division I basketball player, and he told me
we all do it for the next step up.
Yeah.
And the next step up after that, and of course, you take enough steps, then comes the money. You ain't fooling me. Listen, everybody does to get bigger, faster, stronger. They know if they can move up levels upon levels, leveling up, they know there's some money at the end of the rainbow. So we don't just, I loved the game when I was a young kid. I loved baseball. But as you start moving up levels, you start realizing, oh my God, yes, I love the game, but you can make a very nice paycheck at it too. Making money at what you love, getting bigger, faster, stronger, better and better and better. Problem is that when you get into the pro status, all the pressure comes on. When you get to the major league status, you got to be kidding me. You got to win at all costs. Winning is everything. You've got to help your city. You've got to help your team. You got to help your family. And all your friends rely on you to become the big guy with the money and to help them out. The fans, the pressure, the structure, the politics behind it, it's crazy. And you have to perform. Imagine, on a daily basis, you can either get booed by 50,000 people or applauded by 50,000 people. Not even thinking about the millions that are watching playoff World Series.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I was going to take him. Now, since we're talking about
You
this,
still can. I'm sure it's legal.
so I'm going to do this naturally, man. I'm going to do this I told you one of my best friends, Jay Cutler. Shout out Jay Cutler. He's a four-time Mr. Olympia. I got to get it together. That's all. But you're gonna motivate me. You motivate me sitting up here doing this, and mine looks like a dump truck. Yours looks like a diesel. when you make the little.
The problem is that at 60, this is a product of
A lifetime. of work.
45 years of working out. I've got what you call old, dense muscle. That's why people don't realize how much you think I weigh.
I say about 245.
How much you think I weigh?
250.
I'm almost 270. Because this is very heavy, dense muscle, what I carry. I'm also 6'4".
Yeah.
So this is
That doesn't help.
This is an after effect of I work out every day. I swim every day. I eat right, a good lifestyle, because I am addicted to that program. You could be addicted to anything. My addiction is staying in shape, working out, eating properly, and looking the way I look. Listen, I got to represent. I truly believe that even though I'm out of baseball, I've been out of baseball for 20 years, I still got to represent Major League Baseball.
Absolutely.
I've seen players get out of the game that I play with. I don't even fucking realize who they are. I don't recognize them because they've gained 200 pounds. Yeah. I'm like, I go to autograph sessions that I do, and I'm doing an autograph with a player, and I'm like, who is that? Oh, that's so-and-so. What do you mean? He should be on my team. He gained 50, 60, 80 pounds. He looks
Ain't
like
a
a
whole
truck hit
nother
him.
person, huh?
Because all they do after baseball is they go into drinking, they
Yeah.
go into drugs, they don't work out, and they eat like pigs.
Listen to this. No disrespect. NBA, former point guard, Raymond Felton. I seen you on YouTube or Instagram the other day. You look crazy, brother. Like you stopped playing ball and that's it. You gave up on life. Put it down.
Yeah.
Put it down. Work out. You need to come visit my man Canseco. He'll get you right.
Well,
You still look young,
I'm
brother.
in the same. I'm in the same. I'm not gonna lie. I gave up. When I got done playing basketball, I was done. I was done.
This is
But-
a lifestyle.
Yeah.
This is. I wake up and I say, "Oh, now I'm going to work out. Now I'm going to get in shape." After 45, 50 years of abusing myself, now I want to do it over life. No,
So let me
this
ask.
is a lifestyle.
Let me ask you a question about the rat thing. Is Andy Pettit a rat?
I don't know Andy Pettit's situation at all. I know that he was faced with a situation where he could have been put in jail for a month if he perjured himself. I
The
think
fuck
he just
is
took.
a month, dude?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I misspoke. Perjury is 1 year,
Holy shit.
not 1 month. Perjury is 1 year.
They normally don't give him the year for perjury. Like you said, they might give him a
got
If
month.
you,
6
if
or
you
4
perjure
months.
yourself and they want to make an example
Yeah,
of you,
yeah.
you're doing the whole. It's soft time, but you're doing the whole 4 year.
But see,
so it
that
just depends on his
But see, that's
circumstances.
where the rat thing comes into play because if I remember correctly, and I looked this, I watched a little bit of it. Pettit and Clemens were in New York together. They were boys. When Clemens went back to Houston, so did Pettit. They were boys. So for him to tell on him and for him to take the stand, now he did. In the first trial, he testified. The second trial, that one was deemed what do you call it?
Mistrial.
Mistrial. The second one, he said he kind of didn't remember
Exactly.
You gotta
exactly
remember,
what
you gotta
it
remember
was.
something. They already
But
had
he got on the stand.
They already had evidence on Pettit that Pettit knew exactly what was going on, or he was involved with it in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
That's why they put Pettit in a very particular situation with his back to the wall. Now they knew that, and they probably told, "Listen, Pettit, if you perjure yourself, we already have the information here. We just need an individual to validate it. You're going down for perjury for a year." He had to tell the truth. In that circumstance, I think he was between a rock and a hard place.
He had to tell the truth, or he could have just said, "Yo, man, I'm
And
going,
what?
I'm going
Not
to go
to-
do. I'm going to go do 6 months a year.
That's-
Whatever
that-
you give me, I'm just going to
See,
do
that's
it.
the
I'm not
mental-
telling on my friends.
That's a mentality why our society fails on a constant level.
Talk to
From the bottom to the top. From politics is the same situation. The police force, same situation. Our military is the same bullshit. Everybody's trying to cover up everybody else's fucking mistake. Religion, the same fucking thing. Catholic Church is trying to cover up how these so-called leaders within their church are raping 14-year-old children.
Can I ask you a question?
Well,
I got a great one for you.
I have a very tough time thinking that just because someone's going to call you a snitch, that you're not going to tell the truth and help another person out, or another situation out, or another social structure out, another environment. That's bullshit. Listen, snitches to me are the liars that don't tell the truth are the weakest people I've ever seen. I'm going to tell you why. They fall to peer pressure. They buckle to peer pressure. Oh yeah, your homies don't want you to snitch because your homie raped a 14-year-old girl. Fuck you, homie. If you're so fucked up in the head to rape a 14-year-old, you ain't my fucking homie.
Yeah,
you're my fucking enemy. You're going down, brother.
Listen,
no,
we don't have to say homie either because that's like black.
Well, whatever.
Hey, listen, because I can say you're paisan.
But
because I think the Italian mob are the biggest.
I'm not Italian. You don't half black, right? You know most Cubans are black, right?
Well, okay, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying
don't get mistaken. Half of me is black now.
The Italians are the ones.
Don't make that mistake. I'm half black.
All right, I got one more thing to say that we're going to break. But the one thing I was saying, okay, we'll go to break and we'll come back and we'll finish this out. So we'll finish this off and go to our next topic. We got to pay some bills, baby. Yay!
Robes and Mo. Hey, what if I told you that you could own your own travel platform and it would beat the rates of all of the major online booking engines? Your own portal that allows you to save money on your travel, and you can book for others and pocket the difference since your rate will beat the online big names. The best part is that your site has the exact same inventory that they do. Go to roomsandmore.net and use promo code TRAVEL4LESS to receive 50% off.
Welcome back to Off My Chest, here with Jose and Loopy. Loopy the blogger. Listen, I want to get right into something that during the comments, I looked at a lot of the comments, and there was a lot of chatter. You made a post about you knew who the players were. You were going to name them, whatnot. So
he said he's not going to name them.
He's not going to name them.
But there's 5 of them.
He's
in the
already
Hall
trying
of
to
Fame.
get me in trouble.
Okay,
so
I'm not naming any more names.
Right.
They know exactly who they are. Major League Baseball knows who they are. And I think the fans know who they are.
No, yeah, they were putting the names in the
They were going crazy. Yeah. But now the biggest disappointment I saw on that list was King Griffey Jr. And I was like, Jr. didn't. I can't imagine Jr. doing PEDs. He was gifted. He knew it. He grew up on that. I'm cool on King Griffey Jr. And you didn't say that. Now, the person that I felt that got a lot of burn on those comments was Barry Bonds.
And Jeff Bagwell. They fried his ass.
No, but what I'm saying is the comment was, so why is Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame? I saw the things where they talked about he was an asshole, but that shouldn't be a reason why he shouldn't be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Why is Barry Bonds not in the Hall of Fame?
I think the main reason, one of the reasons that they're using against him, amongst they thought he used PEDs, which I don't think. I think he tested positive for some type of a clear that he used. Obviously, he gained the weight, and mid-30s to late 30s, he became a better player, stronger player. But so there are a lot of suspicion. He did come up in the investigation with Balco.
Yeah.
They come up on this list. So it looks like, I know nothing about Bonds, but the evidence is stacked against him to where he looks like he did. Now, do I believe that's the real reason why he wasn't put in the Hall of Fame, or the fact that Barry Bonds, as a baseball player, the way he treated his teammates, the way he treated the fans? For example, one time, I think it was an All-Star game or something, so I saw somebody, one of the kids that was inside the clubhouse, and some of the players asked Bonds to sign some autographs. He flat turned them down. Wow. And I told Bonds, listen, Bonds, I want you to sign my autograph. Don't give me no bullshit. I'll kick your ass right here. I'm dead serious.
You told Barry Bonds
Yeah,
that.
You better sign my shit. I'm going to kick your ass right here. Because you know what? When you're in an all-star environment, when you're around another player.
There's a lot of ego in there.
You want to sign their autograph. You want to sign their family's autograph. Yes, Barry Bonds was a jackass. Yes, he was arrogant. Yes, he had a chip on his shoulder. It looked like he has some type of paranoid issue with the fans and teammates and clubhouse. Maybe he was very narcissistic to where he thought he was better than everyone else by a mile, which he was, by the way. That was proven. But I think they're really, if he was a great guy, like
David Ortiz.
Like David Ortiz, Big Papi, who obviously used PEDs.
He got busted. He
well,
was,
it doesn't matter. Used PEDs. I think Bonds would be in the Hall of Fame. I think they're using the PEDs or the clear that he used as a reason, but I think it's because he was just a jackass.
So hold on a second. Let me be clear. So you said earlier you told me earlier that Clemens was never convicted or for perjury, right? So Bonds was never convicted of clear, and you say there's overwhelming evidence.
I think they found it in a system somehow. Do some testing. Now Roger Clemens. Let me tell you, I used to know Roger, real good friend of mine. We played golf together all the time. I played golf with his wife. Knew his kids.
Back then or now?
Back then.
How's the relationship now?
I don't know. No, I don't hang out with any of the players.
Okay.
I keep very private life. Back then, yes, we spoke about steroids. If Roger Clemens was using steroids, since I had such a close relationship with him, I was with him all the time with his kids, playing golf with his whole entire family. In close quarters, we went out, we partied the whole combination. Roger and I were really good friends. If Roger Clemens used PEDs in his playing days, I would know about it. And he did not. We talked about it briefly. He never acknowledged he was using it, that he wanted any, how to use it properly. Zero. Nothing. So I don't know where that information came from, because I would know if Roger Clemens did PEDs. And I'm going to tell you, from what I saw, from my experience, the answer would be no.
Why would Andy Pettit say that, though? And they were like supposed to be boys.
I have no idea. That's a question for Andy Pettit. That's a good question for Andy Pettit. I don't know what went on with him.
I mean, that's pretty dope. That's pretty dope, because do you think that, the big question is, do you think that Roger Clemens knew what you were doing?
I think people suspect it. Absolutely. I think people knew. But you got to remember, I think we're missing the boat here, guys. In my era, Roger Clemens, Pettit, Alex Rodriguez, Bonds, Juan Gonzalez, Manny Ramirez, Big Papi, steroids weren't against league policy.
Yeah.
Steroids were not illegal. People, get it to your thick,
they
dumb
weren't.
skulls, that your big, dumb donkey skulls. You know nothing. You people know nothing about this era. Understand this. In those days, they were not illegal. There was no policy. Generally, people
Illegal
knew
by
nothing
who?
about
MLB.
Illegal by MLB, or just illegal on the
steroids. Were not illegal. Period. They weren't illegal under MLB laws or restrictions.
Exactly.
Nothing.
What about federal law?
Federal law, maybe. I don't know. I didn't know federal law back then. But for Major League Baseball to come up and condemn these players about a substance that Major League Baseball never even mandated illegal. Listen, there are products at GNC right now that are not illegal by federal law whatsoever, that are illegal by Major League Baseball today, which is ridiculous. They went completely overboard.
Yeah,
now, back then, steroids, in no way, shape, or form were they illegal to Major League Baseball to use. Their structure, nothing, zero.
You think they helped? They just let it go by to help grow the game, and then when that strike came, they seen the attendance was a little shaky, and they just looked. They turned the eye away, got it popping. A lot of home runs being hit. Attendance went up, and then shit started getting hot.
That's the other problem. Is our players' union is probably one of the strongest unions in the world. Our players' union knew about PED use.
Yeah.
Our players' union would not allow Major League Baseball to test us for PEDs. It was illegal to do back then. Even though a lot of us came out positives, they couldn't use it against us because the players' union would not allow it. So there was a combination of the players' union protecting the players, and also Major League Baseball was a little handcuffed, because even if we tested positive, they couldn't do anything about it, because that was part of our uniform contract. So there's a big mix-up on here on who was doing what and who was allowing what to happen. So you had Major League Baseball protecting us. Then after a period of time, the Player Association, obviously from the very beginning, from the very inception, was protecting us also. Everybody was just looking the other way, and we're using PEDs. Everybody knows that. The problem I'm having is, prior to 2000, why are you coming back now and penalizing these players who use PEDs before 2000? The testing was instigated, strike one, strike two, strike three was instigated after 2000. Why are you penalizing these players who prior to 2000 used PEDs when you allowed it? It was allowed in Major League Baseball.
That's not fair.
They should be exempt. Not even that. A player using a PED for 15, 20 years, the metabolite is so stubborn in their system, it may stay in their system 1 or 2 years. Got to be very careful with that. Now, if they test after the testing policy have been into place and they find a metabolite, that could trigger a positive testing that you're using PEDs. Major League Baseball and a Player Association fucked up so bad, and they know it. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to handle it. They're such hypocrites that today, because of that policy, now they're going on, oh, so I don't like this player, or I thought he was taking PEDs, so I'm not going to induct him to the Hall of Fame. I know this player took PEDs. He tested positive, but we like him so much. Yes, let's put him in the Hall of Fame.
Hypocrites.
The worst, most hypocritical system is in place with Major League Baseball. And let me tell you, they know it. They're not stupid. The problem is that Major League Baseball and the Players Association has all autonomy. They have full control of that game. Can you imagine how difficult it was? They govern themselves. That's why I say this is funny. When Major League Baseball hired an individual to do a testing of several players and do an investigation, they didn't hire an outside source. They hired one of their own. Can you imagine that? They hired one of their own, paid the guy $42 million to do a research on their own players.
Who was that? What was that? The Mitchell guy?
The Mitchell report.
The Mitchell report.
I mean, he's one of their own. They hired Mitchell to do an investigation, and I'm laughing. I'm like saying, "Oh my God!" Of course, you're going to say exactly and do exactly what they're going to say. It's like hiring your chief of police to investigate your own deputies.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. It was a joke. I mean, this whole thing was a joke.
Yeah.
It was a joke.
Like hiring a deputy to investigate the criminals it's fucking crazy.
So me and you were watching. This was funny because earlier me and Loopy were watching so we went ahead. We said, "Fuck the steroid era. We're going to the cocaine. We're going to the cocaine era
in the 80s, way back.
We're going to the
70s,
cocaine
80s.
eras." And listen, Major League Baseball. I mean, they just covered up. They did so many things. They knew they were selling cocaine in the clubhouse.
Mascots.
The mascot was doing it. I mean, they had this whole thing, man. The players. I mean, listen, we talk about 85% of the players doing steroids. 85% of the league back then was shooting the lines.
And look,
and they knew about it.
And coaches that were doing that shit back in the days, they still got jobs in the MLB. A lot of them are still working with MLB, whether it's broadcasting, whether it's coaches,
managing, the whole combination, all kind of
so it's
stuff.
like if you're gonna shun Barry Bonds, keep the same energy with everybody. The cokeheads in the Hall of Fame, the couple of PED users, and I'm sure there's a lot. You were nice by saying 5. I'm thinking 57 fucking players is probably in there, or maybe more, because
5 that I know of, I can bet my life on for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
that they know, I know who they are.
So fucking, they need to stop being hypocrites and just let people in. They let Tony La Russa in, and Mark McGwire was fucking hitting moonshots on his fucking watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is. I mean,
do you think La Russa did La Russa know what was going on with you guys?
100%.
Absolutely.
100. I mean, come on. It was so obvious. 100%. As a matter of fact, he made a comment in an interview. La Russa said, "Oh, well, I knew Jose was using PEDs because he wouldn't work out in spring training, and he wouldn't work out during the off season and come in. It was easy for him because he was using PEDs." So, oh yeah, he knew exactly what's going on. Every manager, every GM, more or less the owners, on down know exactly what's going on.
I could just imagine the coke parties in the fucking 70s, 80s, like everybody, sex workers and MLB going crazy. Come on, get out there! Like people were getting high in the dugout. It was crazy.
It was so bad for the coke era. Not only did they test the players, they tested the owners.
Yeah, they were testing the fucking mascots and everything.
The owners,
everyone tested the umpires too at the same time.
Yeah,
of course, man. Yo, baseball was brutal back in the days, man. I wish I could have bet.
I definitely, when I watched the cocaine thing, you were in my mind. You were on my shoulder saying, "Hey, you think they weren't fixing games if they were doing all of these things? You think these guys weren't doing this?"
Gambling was rampant in sports 40, 50 years ago. It was out of control.
Yeah, 100%.
I can imagine.
Way, way worse than it is today. That's why the instant replay takes the human factor out of it. Just human control. It takes the umpire out of the equation. Umpires should not have an outcome, a say-so, in the actual game.
Yeah, that's
whether it's a blown call, a big strike zone, something, they should not have an outcome, because if you are a gambler and you're looking for an edge, you're going to find out what those edges are and exploit them. 100%.
So here's the thing, because there's been some, when I'm betting on a game, there's been some calls sometimes, whether I have the side or I don't have the side, that they go to instant replay and they still fucking get it wrong.
I've seen a couple plays where it is an instant replay. You can see it clearly, and the umpire, and not the umpire, in New York. They call, and the fucking stooges will get it wrong.
The hottest place in the world, like, nah, that's
So how can you be fucking kidding me?
Yeah, so it makes you wonder, like, it's not over because they can do things in that booth, and you're going, there's games I watch that I have no money on at all, and I'll see a play, and I'll be like, yo, he was safe, and they call him out, and I'm like, what the hell was that? Right? So it's bad. So listen, my take is this with Barry Bonds. And I, as a player, you hear all the stories. He was a creep. He was an asshole. He didn't care.
Yo, to be honest, him and Clemens give me the same vibes. That's why they both not in. I don't think it's
I don't look at Clemens that way. I look at Clemens as like
Rogers actually a really nice.
He's
guy.
really nice.
I thought Clemens was a real fiery mother effer
on the mound, but that's not his character.
Yeah.
He's fire on the mound.
Yeah.
But off the mound, he's a quiet, nice guy.
Yeah. I can see. I know someone else. I'm not going to say some names who won't take a picture with fans, and it kind of irritates me. And I know them. I'm like, yo. Now, what I will say is, like, I know some guys like Cameron, 50 Cent. Those guys take pictures all day long with people, and it's fucking dope to see that they do that, because that's super. Jay Cutler stops for damn near every fan to do that. But when you have like I still don't think that's a reason for him not to be in the Hall of Fame, because he is by far the best player in history of baseball. I feel like this guy his numbers are just rampant, and whether you think he took the clear or even if at the time you think he started, his numbers were better than everybody else too.
I think Ohtani's better.
And you think Ohtani's better?
Yeah.
Nah.
You think Ohtani will reach
Hell no.
the stats that Bonds?
Let's see.
Hell no.
You're not even. No.
Hell no.
What do you want to bet on? No.
Hell, yeah, tell him again. Let's tell him.
Have you seen what Bonds did in his career?
They would walk him with the bases loaded.
Dude,
all the time.
He's so far ahead.
Otani, you're better.
Field. No, he's not. He's making more money, that's for sure. That's the only
not
thing
even
bank account.
If Barry Bonds played right now, if Barry Bonds played right now, it would be a wrap. It would be a dub for Ohtani. Barry Bonds was phenomenal, bro. That dude was phenomenal, bro. I'm talking about, crushing balls, walking.
He had help.
Listen, okay, here's one for you.
Hold on a minute. We all had help. We didn't have his stats.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you a Superman out there.
Listen.
You still got to hit the ball.
You still got to hit the ball,
Yeah,
guys.
you still got to hit the ball.
So let me ask you this question, because here's another one that everybody talked about as well with Barry Bonds, and they talked about you in Oakland. They talked about Ricky Henderson being on steroids. And I looked at that and said, are you kidding me? That is Mr. Swag himself.
First of all you got to do is look at Ricky's mom. Ricky's mom's got more muscles than Ricky.
Did you say it like that in the book?
Ricky got his mother's genetics. Ricky's mom looks like a little bodybuilder. Ricky looks like a miniature bodybuilder. Ricky didn't need that stuff. No way. Ricky was just like Bo Jackson, a genetic freak.
Yeah.
Ricky originally would have played football, except his mom wanted him to play baseball.
I'm glad he did.
Ricky was a running back. Ricky can do it all. Ricky was just a miniature Bo Jackson.
She wasn't stupid. She knew where the money was at.
Yeah. So yeah.
So Ricky, to me, Ricky was the best. I went to a game in San Diego. He was at the end of his career, and there was a ball hit down the right field line, and he just dogged it to the corner. And the fans just gave him such a hard time. And then I'm the only guy there. You're the greatest, baby, greatest of all time, right? And he come over, tipped his hat to me, right? Just a cool dude, just super cool. He hit the home runs. I seen him one time. He hit the home run. He took his jewelry out and he flipped the jewelry out after he flipped the bat, and he popped his collar. And I'm like, this guy's phenomenal.
Yeah, Swaggy P.
Yeah. The guy stole. The guy was steal bases. The guy.
He was. The problem is that people understand is that Ricky, incredible player, best leadoff hitter in history, but the guy was a showman.
Yeah.
People will come to watch him
No,
play
absolutely.
no matter what.
He was like a painter.
Ricky is an entertainer. Ricky was an entertainer. He knew that. The Oakland A's, we became so famous because we had so many entertainers on our team, so many different characters that played together. I mean, from 80, 87, 88, 90, 92, our team was phenomenal just to watch our lineup. Other teams would watch us take batting practice. I mean, other reporters, other cities, oh my God, the Oakland's are in town. Talk about a show. We were a circus. We were a fucking show. People loved it.
So Ricky Henderson, your greatest moment with Ricky that you can recall, one of the great moments here. Go ahead, put your mic up a little bit more, too. Greatest moment with Ricky Henderson.
I probably can't tell you this kind of private. but
Or just give me one.
like all the guys, we should love to gamble on the flights. I mean, I gambled with Reggie Jackson one flight and lost $50,000 in a 45-minute flight. Next flying back, got the $50,000 back playing cards. But, it's funny because Ricky's one of the nicest guys you ever meet once you get to know him. And talk about talented, love life, and the women love Ricky. That's all I can say. Women love Ricky. That guy was a stud.
Shouts to Ricky.
There were some players on our team that women would just throw themselves after.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So Eckersley played on that team. You were on that team with Eckersley, right?
Yeah.
What about Dave Stewart? Because Dave Stewart was a guy fucking just gifted, strong.
Yeah.
Like, I look at him now, I said back, okay, was he on the steroids? Or
No.
he was just that talented and that strong of a pitcher to be able to pitch that way?
Stewart reminded me of Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Stewart was 6'2", built like a shit brick house, scary individual, will stare you down on that mound, had that look. And when he opened up his mouth, hey, Hosey, what's up? Like Mike, hey, Hosey. So, but Stewart had this presence about him. Stewart was a very serious guy. He took baseball very serious. Often he got a second chance being released from the Dodgers because of some issues he had down there. But I'll tell you, when he came to Oakland, he was our horse, man. That guy won 20 years for 4 years straight, 20 games for 4 years straight. Wow. And just got it to the World Series. And him and Eckersley, our pitching staff, it was just unbelievable.
So the bigger thing is for me is when you're coming into the locker room, because I thought about this weekend. Nowadays, there are a lot of young kids in the locker room. They don't have that grown man effect, I feel, like, right, to show them they're professionals. When you came into that room, I feel like there were grown men who were already there to kind of show you some things here and there. Do you see that changing in the game now?
The age gap was a lot greater because when I came into the league, you spent your time in the minor leagues and earned it. You didn't just sign at a high school, sign at a college, a big bonus a year later. You were in the major leagues.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Back then, they held onto the veterans longer. There was a bigger age gap between the younger kids and the veterans. Now, because Major League Baseball has changed his image, they want to go the youth movement. So when they went to the youth movement, which is about, I guess, 10, 12 years ago, they decided to get rid of all the veteran players and move the younger players in to get that younger demographic coming out to the ballpark. So that's what really happened.
So I saw there's another podcast out there with CC Sabathia and Howard from the Phillies. And that was the comment that they made, is that when they came into the locker room, D. Rollins, they came into the locker room and there were grown men in there. And they said today the difference between them now is the fundamentals aren't the same. These guys don't know how to hit a cutoff man now. It's all power. Everything is power. Everything is power. Do you agree with that?
I do. I think when I came into the league, we worked on more fundamentals, worked on more hitting the ball the other way, getting down the bunt. I mean, we worked extensively in spring training, hitting the cutoff man, doing the basic things, base running, knowing how to cut the base properly, knowing how to take the extra base. So we worked a lot more on fundamentals and hitting. I think today is more launch angle, distance, everybody's swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
And, just hope you hit one.
You think that's good for the game, that there's like no veterans in the clubhouse like that?
I don't. I think it's bad.
It's horrible.
I think it's bad. I think it's bad for
Veterans
the game.
you need what do you call it? You
Leadership.
need guidance. You need
Yeah,
guidance,
yeah.
especially coming up from the minors. Jeter came up 18, 19. he had veterans in there. Tim Raines, Cecil Fielder, Bernie.
Yeah, you would always
you know,
have
you had the
veterans.
core four, but they still had veterans there.
I'm
They
gonna
still have veterans there.
I'm gonna say my Jeter questions for you later because I feel like that Yankee team was really something special. That you won what you won a championship with the Yankees, right?
World Series with the Yankees,
Yeah.
and then one with the Oakland A's.
Which one was more special to you?
Obviously, the Oakland A's because I was part of their team. The Yankees, I was kind of taken off waivers, and when I joined the Yankees, it was only like a month and a half, 2 months of the season, and I knew why they got me over. When I had a meeting with Joe Torre, I knew I wasn't going to play. He already had his players. He had a team locked up. But what they didn't want was for me to face them in any playoff situation because I was known as the Yankee killer. I destroyed Yankee pitching all my career, Pettit, a couple home runs. I would destroy them all. So what they didn't want to happen is some other team pick me up, sign me for the 2 months, month and a half, and be able to face the Yankees and help them out.
Did you play in the playoffs at all?
Hence, I wasn't even on the roster in the playoffs. In the World Series, I was on the roster and I got one token at bat.
Okay. How was Torrey with you? Was good guy? Good guy.
Very
overall?
honest, good guy. Up front, he told me it was to be expected, and I respected that.
You ever got to speak to the old man?
No. He was in the clubhouse a couple times, but never had a conversation with him.
So I have a love-hate with Loopy's favorite team is because I don't know if you've ever seen the King Griffey interview where he says he would never go play for the Yankees ever.
That was a situation with his father.
Yeah.
I think a clubhouse situation that happened around the field where
The kid was playing, and he told him security came and told him to get Griffey off the field.
another player's son was on.
And there's another,
ground
so
balls,
he
right?
was like, yo. And then, his dad told him, hey, I'm a little too old to fight this fight.
Obviously,
I'll let
that's
you.
a double standard situation,
Yeah.
a racist situation. Yeah.
Yeah, so he said he would never. So I kind of felt like, F. Steinbrenner. I don't know,
Yo, man, I'm on the East Coast with it. Griffey, you're fucking lost. I seen the Yankees win 5 rings, motherfucker. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, y'all need to leave all that bullshit. Listen, if something happened, if you could fix the situation. Look, you ended up in Cincinnati. You got bank. You got the bag. But come on, you hurt your ankles.
Well, I mean, listen. When you talk about racism, it goes back to what was said. If I'm him, I'd never play for them again. I would never. I wouldn't. The kids. He said it in the interview. If it was the last team on earth, I wouldn't play, and I wouldn't. I mean, that's just wrong.
Buddy,
it's wrong.
you're lost. Not
That's
everybody's
wrong.
built for the Bronx, my brother. And I doubt that shit was racist because the Bronx is on some black, white. It's all love, man. Indian.
No, so we're talking about. Do you know the story about this?
Nah.
No.
I remember hearing about it when I was younger.
So 2 kids out there on the field.
Yeah.
Griffey, and then I don't know who the other player.
Third baseman, his son.
Biggio. Well, not Biggio.
No.
It wasn't Biggio.
They weren't in the league.
Craig Nettles. It was somebody like
Nettles,
that. Somebody. So his son was out there. Security comes out and says, yo, get Griffey Jr. off the field. The other kid, so he sits in the thing. Security comes, takes him off. And then his dad looks up and goes, hey, look at third base. Mm-hmm. And the other kid is still out there playing.
Right. They didn't get him off.
So if they're gonna give you $300 million, you're gonna.
So what I'm saying is, once again, baseball. If you're gonna do 1-to-1, you got to do one to the other. Hall of Fame. We just talked about this.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Now you're saying it's okay.
No,
And
I
then we
wasn't there,
just
so I
talk
don't
about
know.
this.
I agree with you to never play for the Yankees.
Listen.
Either. They did it to my son.
Listen. You just said.
Yeah.
You just said. Hey, if you do 1-for-1 who took PEDs and you do one
No,
for the other,
absolutely.
so it's the same situation. You let one kid sit out there
That shit ain't
who's of a
PEDs,
darker.
that's just some
But
crybaby
it's
shit.
even worse. It's a racial thing.
The double standard.
It's enough that Ken Griffey understood the assignment and said, "Fuck
How
the
old
Yankees."
was Griffey?
I don't know how he was. But
He was-
listen,
he was
if
youth,
we
right?
ever get hey Griffey, if you're out there, please just write a little message to us. We'll see it.
Yo,
We'll
Griffey, you blocked your blessings. You
Fuck
could have won
that.
some chips with the
You're
Yankees, baby.
Hey, you're the kid. Do you interact with when you go to All-Star games? Interact with like people like Griffey and those guys, or
Griffey was cool as hell.
were they happy to see you? Were they like, oh my God, because like, come on, man, you were like the
I don't know.
You were like a porn star baseball player, brother. You were handsome, man.
You know, I don't know because you walk in the place and they're all kind of checking you out, and everybody's kind of nervous. You know, I was very nervous around other players. I thought, oh my God, I never realized back then how good I was. I thought other players were great. So I used to be in awe when I used to meet other players at the All-Star game. But I used to be in awe about them. So I used to be like, oh my God, there's what's the guy, one of the most intimidating guys I ever met, Dave Winfield.
Yeah.
He's a giant. He's literally 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and his hands are twice as big as me. When I met him, he goes, "Hey, Jose, how you doing?" I went, "Oh my God, that's fucking Dave Winfield. He's a giant."
The mic.
It was amazing meeting guys that you idolize, that you watch with the Yankees, you watch with any other team growing up. And he played against us, Dave Winfield. And you're talking about a mammoth man, intimidating as hell, up to the plate. But you don't really realize how big the man is till you go up and meet him in person and shake his hand and start talking to him. So, yeah, there are some. I mean, when I met Bo Jackson, I was in awe of Bo Jackson. Him and I were both on the DO one time, or IL, back then it was a DO, and we're sitting down. I'm looking at his legs. He's got veins the size of my finger on his legs, and his proportions, and just talking to him like, God, Bo, you're a fucking freak.
He's a freak of nature.
He's like, you're looking at, one of the gods of baseball. This guy could have done anything. If he would have got injured, I believe he would have been probably the only guy that would have been a Hall of Famer in football and in baseball both. He's just that amazing. Some of these players were just amazing. I can see, even though I was a player, I can see how some fans could have been awestruck with some of these players.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Do you think the people who paved the way for the do you think the baseball players who paved the way for a lot of people, do you think they get enough recognition by the MLB? Or it's just like once they're done with
I don't know if they get enough or adequate. I think you can never get enough.
Yeah.
I think it's for the younger players to bring up and to thank once they accomplish, if they break their records or if they accomplish something at MLB where, if I say, I looked up to this player, that's why I'm in MLB. Or I broke this record, but I looked up to that player also. I think it's really up to the player to give recognition to these other players who opened up doors when it comes to, the color barrier.
Oh, how about the major leagues? Do you think they do enough for their old school players? Like taking care of them?
Well, most of them have pensions. So I think Major League Baseball has the best pension in the world.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you
with
still got
the
a pension?
Absolutely. Yeah. Even though Major League Baseball tried to take it away from me, which they couldn't. Yeah. Absolutely, I've got
I ain't going to lie. I've seen some pictures of your hound. You popping, my nigga. I like them shades.
I've got over 10 years in Major Leagues.
Yeah, you
maximum
lit.
pension.
All right. Well, listen, I just want to go ahead and thank everybody for tuning in to us, man. Listen, please. I know everyone always tells us in the show, go like and subscribe and do all of those things, but we really need you guys to subscribe so we know what we're doing over here and help us out with our sponsors and make sure the show can continue. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you got to do. You want to call this man a rat, you go right ahead. He ain't paying no attention at all.
I don't give a shit what you say about me. You don't pay my bills. I'm just going to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not.
All right, man. It's about time, and you guys got to see Mr. Canseco get it off his chest.
Shout outs to Johnny Damon for liking the post. Shout outs to Torrey Hunter for liking the post.
That's right.
Shout outs to ESPN for writing that article. Fox, man, we see ya, and we're going to keep coming, man. We're going to keep coming, baby.
That's right.
Off our chests.
Have a good morning, guys.